Welcome to the Gym series. For today's episode, I am thrilled to welcome my co-host, Nahid Farzad. She is a customer success executive responsible for reinventing the customer experience here at Rocket Level, and she's amazing at it. Nahid will be interviewing our guest, Charline Zeroual. Charline is a sustainable wardrobe stylist based in Los Angeles. She was born and raised in France and moved to the USA in 2010. In 2013, she left her marketing career to combine the two passions she had, people and styling. Today, she's dedicated to helping women look and feel their best with the fundamentals of personal styling while focusing on a more conscious approach to fashion consumption. Over the last 9 years, she has helped many women of all silhouettes and life stages, each with unique needs and tastes. She has seen firsthand what a boost personal styling can be for self-image and confidence. Through her conscious styling process, she coaches her clients on how to shop less and shop better. From learning to shop their closet first to the importance of wearing natural fabrics and the sustainable alternatives to fast fashion, the styling experiences she offers are all about bringing changes into the American wardrobes and making a positive impact on the environment. She's also an ambassador for Remake, a community of fashion lovers, women rights advocates, environmentalists, and IG influencers with a mission to change the fashion industry's harmful practices on people and our planet through education, advocacy, and transparency. I know we all need this. I'm so thrilled to start this podcast. Enjoy.
Hey, Charline, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's so great having you on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Perfect. So let's kind of just dive into, your story. So yeah, I guess I kind of like to just go in order of like where your story begins. So I did a little bit of research on you. I looked at, your Instagram and your website and things like that. And I got a little bit of background, from our team over here. So I know that you were in a marketing position for a while, and you left your job, I think 2013, right?
2013, yes, correct.
Okay,
yes.
So do you want to just tell me a little bit about, what kind of inspired you to kind of take that leap into business for yourself and how that kind of transition went for you?
Yes, so, I have a master in marketing and sales. So before I actually moved from Paris to Atlanta 11 years ago. So before moving, I used to work as a brand and product manager for a few different companies. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to Atlanta. I started working for experiential marketing companies, and then I did some media buying. And before leaving my marketing career, I did a little bit of work for a non-for-profit for mental health.
Oh, wow.
And yes, I think for, moving from France to the US has been like a big challenge, but it really, I think US is the best country to become an entrepreneur. So I've always been the go-to person, to help friends and family pick a dress for a special occasion or, like going to the closet to do a little bit of cleaning. And after moving to the US, I had a few friends who told me, Charline, you have a gift. You should, start your own business. And at the beginning, I was scared. I was like, oh no, I am not an entrepreneur. This is not, I cannot do it. I think this is the imposter syndrome kind of. And I started with friends of friends. I have to say I faked it until I made it. And I started with a few clients, and then I did a few workshops on how to look professional. And yes, here I am today.
Yeah, I would love to dive a little bit deeper into, maybe what was scaring you the most about going out on your own in your own business? What do you think it was that was really holding you back and caused a lot of that imposter syndrome? Because I'm sure a lot of people will relate to that.
Yes, I think it's just the unknown, I always worked for corporate, so I had goals setting up by my boss or by the company, mm-hmm. and you use your marketing skills and your marketing background to achieve those goals, and this is the way to do it. becoming an entrepreneur, it's not exactly the way it works. Like it's you have to do everything, like from marketing to sales to finance, and it's a lot of work. Like before starting, it looks like a gigantic mountain, and then you start getting, working and creating and thinking, and more you do, less scary it is. And I think at the beginning, I didn't have a very clear understanding of what I could do and what was my vision. But again, you need to go for it. And I think, more, and, months after months and clients after clients and experiences after experiences, successful or not, you are getting better at what you are doing. You are getting this expertise you didn't have before. You're also building your confidence, and you are growing. And yes, this is how you become an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Do you remember, I wonder, like, when you started this, what your kind of first goal was? Like, if you were to say, like, oh, if I get 3 clients a month, like, I've made it. Like, do you remember kind of what that was when you started?
Well, I think my first goal was to get my first client, for sure. Like, like just the first client. And I remember, I decided, when my friend told me, oh, you should go for it. You should start your own business. I was okay. Yes, let's do it. And then I remember going to this party, and my friend introduced me to another friend saying, hey, this is Charline. She's a stylist. And this woman was like, you know what? I am about to start a new job. I really need to hire a stylist. Please give me your business card. And I didn't have a business card. So I told her, and it was September 2013. And I remember exactly, the look, the venue and everything. So I was like, I don't have a business card, but I'm going to go back home and I will send you all the information. And back then, I didn't have any website, any business card, nothing. Yeah. So I went back home pretty late at night. I created a business card. I didn't even have a logo. So that's why my first logo was just Zeroual, black and white. And I don't remember, the website, like the website I used. But I did my logo and my website overnight. And I sent her an email saying, oh, this is how it works, this is the process. I didn't really think about it. And back then the pressure, I was very excited, but I didn't feel that much pressure. I was, okay, this is what you want. This is what I offer, what I am good at. I'm not sure I am good at, but just, again, fake it until you make it. Yeah. And I sent her the email. She got back to me the day after saying, yeah, let's do it. Take me shopping. And from there, I started looking at the competition and thinking about, how I could do as a personal stylist and how different I thought about, how could I help those people, like in a way that is my way and in a way that is different from what other people or competitors are offering. And this is how I started building my business and my services. So I got this first client. And then I think I got like another client. But we were talking about driving force, and I think one of my driving force is to make people happy and satisfied, What pushed me when I started and is still pushing me to challenge myself and deliver the best personal styling experience is my passion for people, and I want them to be happy and satisfied, and I want them to give me this smile at the end of the experience. So yes.
Yeah, I genuinely believe, because I feel like I feel better about myself when I dress up, which is, it's so easy to wear your pajamas every day in the pandemic when you work from home. Yeah. But, I genuinely feel like if I have a lot to do one day, I put a little lipstick on, I get myself together, and it really does, make a difference in my day. Yes. And I also just love that story. That's true execution. Yeah, I don't have my business card on me. You go make one. you make it happen, you know? So
it's like positive pressure, positive stress.
Absolutely. You make diamonds under pressure.
Yeah, exactly. No, truly.
So something that I guess that you touched on is, you want to obviously make people happy and make them feel good with your help. Style is obviously so personal. Did you used to get nervous, or do you still get nervous that, you might not be matching up with someone, or is it really about finding a mesh with the right customers, I guess, the right clients?
I mean, when I started, the pressure was much like, I had so much pressure. I think today I am happy to report that the pressure is not as high as it was, because I have more experience and expertise in the styling world, but I still have a pressure. Every time I meet a new client, I am like, oh, what about if she doesn't like me? Or what about if I cannot help her? Yes, there is still a pressure, because every client has different needs, expectation, and silhouette, but but I think it's positive pressure. It's something that I learned how to embrace over the years, and most of the time, I usually offer a 30 minutes free consultation to my clients, so I can learn more about what they want, what do they need, a personal stylist, and I tell them like what I offer. I focus on sustainable fashion. So basically, I offer the classic personal styling services, such as closet edit, personal shopping, outfit styling, photo shoot styling. But I focus on a more conscious approach to sustainable fashion. And when I start working with a client, or I meet a client for the first time, I am not like, okay, you are not into sustainable fashion, I'm not going to work with you, because as a sustainable personal stylist, I want to use my voice to, help people understand the fashion industry and how to, of course, develop a more conscious wardrobe.
Right.
And if the person is not into it at all, if the person is more like into fast fashion and wants to, shop like Zara, H&M, all those fast fashion brands, it might not be a good fit. But most of the time, people are pretty open-minded, and they really want, or they are really ready to do this, work to move to a more conscious wardrobe. So,
I think that's truly a sign of success, that you can really decide, like, this client doesn't match up with what I believe and what my values are. And you can kind of choose who you work with. So I think that's pretty amazing. But for you, did you have a moment that was like, wow, I really am successful at this? Like, what was your kind of wow moment for you?
There was not like a one wow moment. I think when you are facing up big challenges and you are able to succeed, like those are like wow. I remember of course I think my first client was a big challenge, and it was a big wow moment when she told me she was very happy with the experience I delivered. The other thing is, I remember, so I usually I mainly work with individual clients, and I remember the first time a brand came to me for a branding photo shoot. It was Vela, the hair product, and they wanted me to style the international hairstyling competition, the models for the hairstyling competition.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I looked at the email and I was like, oh, I'm not sure I can do it. Or I don't know how to do it. I think my competitors will do it better. All those kind of things. And I sat down, I was, okay, Charline, do you want to take the challenge? Yes, I want. So I sat down, I wrote a plan of actions, and I did it. It was a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of energy, but I succeeded and the results were amazing. And I think it was my first big wow moment, like working on this big event.
Yeah, no, that is very cool to see, that level of, we're kind of reaching that level beyond just individual clients. No, that's amazing. And I guess, when you have those moments, or you mentioned earlier, that imposter syndrome, I think, that's something that I wanted to talk about because I think, most people deal with that, but I think especially women. And, that was one of the reasons that we kind of have this Women Empowerment Month, that why we wanted to have a couple of, strong entrepreneurial women on our podcast. I think that it's so relatable, though, for so many people. So how do you feel like you reframe your mind when those kind of obstacles come up where you feel like, I don't know if I can even handle this large of a project or something?
I think over the years, I learned how to deal with the imposter syndrome. I think it's something normal. It's something like every entrepreneur has to deal with it. And once you start your own business, you need to be ready to challenge yourself. This is a way to set you up for success, I think. And as I said earlier, it's not easy because there is a lot of self-doubt, but I think you need to remember why you are doing this. You need to remember that it's not, gonna be easy, more particularly, as a mom and business owner, there are, so many things you need to manage in one day, yes, like it's a normal thing. I think you need to embrace it. I think as a mom and business owner, for example, I am very busy. So I need to set up objectives, priority. My priority number one is my family and my kids. This is what it is. So starting from there, I know that I have a limited amount of time to dedicate to my business, and it's totally fine. And yeah, I know that I can take only few clients per week, and maybe some of my competitors are doing, it's not better, they are doing maybe 3, 4, 5 clients per week, and on top of that they are creating some content for social media. They are probably sending 2 to 3 newsletters per month, and I would love to do it, but I decided that my priority was my family. And I know, I am aware that I have this amount of time for work, and I prefer to dedicate this time for my existing clients and new clients to deliver the best personal styling experience. So I think you have to be realistic with what you can do and the time you have. So this way you do not feel discouraged and overwhelmed. It's easy to say like the grass is always greener outside.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up, balancing being a mom. I think that's, something that obviously a lot of women relate to. And I think it also just holds back a lot of women from, jumping into being an entrepreneur because they don't think that they can handle it. Do you think that it was something where you really had to figure out how to find that balance, or did you always kind of know how to prioritize things from the beginning?
So when I started, I was married, but I didn't have any kids. So it was easy.
Oh, okay.
When I told you I did my business card overnight, this is probably something I couldn't do today because now I have 3 kids.
Oh my gosh,
So yes, like when I started, of course I had my husband and my friend, but I could spend much more time in my business, like thinking and creating. I used to do, 2 to 3 newsletters per month, and I felt good. And then with kids, it changed. And more particularly since I moved from New York to LA, it's not the same. I don't have the same amount of time. And it's okay. It's okay. I know exactly how much time I can dedicate to my business, and I have my priority, and it doesn't stop me to grow my business. It's just different. And I think priorities will, change over time. It's like style, But as of today in 2022, this is what it is. And I am happy about it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be able to do both, like raising kids and doing my job. And probably maybe in a few years it will be different. I will spend more time in my business and less time with my kids. But, today it's like this.
That's good, because you have to remain, like you said, flexible in your entrepreneurial type of business, and things are always going to change. So you have to be obviously prepared for that. So I kind of want to go back to, you said you moved from LA to New York, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when you decided to kind of add the sustainable piece to your business, right? When you moved, yeah. I feel like that is an interesting and also bold move, because you're adding another layer to your business that you already kind of took a risk to build this brand, and now you're kind of rebranding a little bit. So how did the transition go? Because it kind of is kind of a different business. So how was that?
Yeah, so it didn't really start like I want to rebrand my business, or I want to start a new business. I think this is something I've been thinking a lot about before. Like when I first moved to the US, I actually spent a lot of time and money in the malls shopping. And I remember like back then I was not really happy about, what was in store. I thought like the quality was pretty cheap. And then in 2017, I worked for Anthropologie in New York, and this is pretty much when my sustainable fashion journey started, because we used to have 80% off on the clothes at Anthropologie, and I started thinking, okay, if you can give us 80% off, how much do you pay the garment workers? So I was very interested in that, so I started reading books from Elizabeth Klein, which she's like an expert in sustainable fashion, and I got into slow fashion, sustainable fashion, and then we moved to LA, and I rebranded my business. I wanted like a new logo and a new website. And I was like, okay, I think I want to incorporate sustainable fashion. I really want to share my journey and my personal experience with my clients by teaching them how to shop less and shop better, by showing them the importance of natural fabric. So this is when I twisted my services a little bit. But I'm still doing the same that I used to do before, but with a different approach.
Yeah.
But I think it's more, my personal values are more aligned with my business goals today than they were a few years ago. And I think it's very important, because it's helping me doing my mission in a better way, I would say.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of also the tempting thing about, starting your own business, is you're being able to stick to those values. And I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you feel like the impact you're making, not just for your clients, but like globally and in your community, that probably feels bigger than what you would have made, I don't know, in your like corporate marketing job, right?
Yeah, because I am passionate about what I am doing. I think I am a people person. I like meeting new people, from all around the world, from different culture. And when I was telling you that my driving force is to make people happy, I want to get this smile on their face, or this big hug. And I am passionate about what I am doing. And saying that, I want to make women feel and look good. I mean, many people will say, it's easy to say, but no, this is really what I like doing. And when I started my business, I was telling you earlier, the pressure was so high. And I remember I would have done everything I could to make this personal styling experience the best personal styling experience they've ever had. Even if most of them never had any personal styling experience they could compare with, but I was just so into it. And I remember spending extra hours at my client's house, to make the closet look good and perfect. And at the end, the client would be like, oh, Charline, how much I owe you for the extra hours? And I was like, oh, no, nothing. It's on me. I'm glad you were happy. The same for the first shopping trip I planned for a client. I remember spending an entire day at Lenox Mall in Atlanta to make sure everything was perfect. And that I will find everything the client needed. And I was not paid for that, because all that matters to me was to deliver the best styling experience, and I wanted this client to be happy at the end. So I think, when your business is driven by your values and by your passion, the impact is definitely bigger.
Yeah. And, I think that, you mentioning that you invested that time early on in your business to build a good reputation, to build a good brand. And I'm sure that you still go, above and beyond for your clients now. But, that's the investing in yourself. Now you can, have the luxury of, choosing clients that really align with your values and things like that, because you spent that time up front, right?
Yes. And I think what I can really be myself. I think at the beginning you want to please everyone, just to get the business. And I don't think I was trusting myself as much as I am trusting myself today, or at least I trust my skills. I mean, I trust myself, I trust my skills, and I know how much impact I can have on a client's life. So if you do not like me, or if you do not like the way I work, or do not like the sustainable approach I have, it's fine. There are so many stylists out there. You'll probably find the right fit for you. But it doesn't make me feel bad, anymore. And I remember like a few years ago, when a client would, reply to my email saying, oh no, I'm sorry, I don't want to work with you, or was not replying at all, I would have taken it personally. And today it's not the case. Like, I know what my added value is. I know the difference I can make in your life.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think that's another sign that you've really, hit a point of success in your career.
Thank you.
So, And so I just kind of want to also go back to something you were saying, in the beginning you felt a lot of pressure. I think that's super normal, obviously, when you're starting a business. What do you think that you did on those days to continue, and keep going? Because pressure can be, very damaging sometimes if you don't have the right mindset for it.
Yes, I think, my first, based on my personal experience, my first reaction was, I want to run away. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want, but then, you realize that you have to, so just, trust yourself. Like, you can do it. It's not going to be easy. And again, it's going to require extra time, extra work, extra thinking. But trust yourself. I remember the first time I had my transgender client, it was another challenge.
Wow. Yeah.
And I went to my husband and I was, I'm not sure I can do it, because it was, of course, different from what I experimented in the past. And my husband was like, stick with your mission. What is your mission? And, a few years ago, I was working with women and men. I was not specialized. Now I do mainly women. And my husband was like, your mission is to make people feel good. So no matter if it's a woman, a man, a transgender, just take the challenge. And I did it. It was not easy, but again, I succeeded, and I was very proud of myself. So it wasn't comfortable. I'm not going to tell you it was easy. Sure. It was uncomfortable because I think challenges are always comfortable, but it always comes with new strength and new skills, for sure.
Absolutely. The growth is outside of the comfort zone. So, I think that's super important to touch on. Now, you said that sometimes you wanted to run away, and I think everybody feels that, but did you have times where you genuinely were like, I'm not sure if I can do this, I need to go get a job? Or did that really never seriously cross your mind?
No, it crosses my mind every week or maybe not every week, but every month, I would say. Every month, at some point I will be like, oh, maybe, what about if I could find a job as a stylist or, as a styling consultant in a corporate. It will be easy, they will tell you what to do. And I think it will be easy, but I'm not sure, at the end, I am like, no, I know this is not what I want to do. I know I want the flexibility and the time for my family. And I know in a corporate environment, I could not get that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think that is definitely a tempting way to go for a lot of people who have, gone down the entrepreneurial route. But I mean, I think the way that you've built your business, like you said, you have flexibility. You've already done so much work to invest in yourself. Like, it's really amazing the point that you've come to. And, something else I kind of wanted to ask too is, with the stylists you work with, do you, not the stylists, with the designers and the clothes that you work with, do you tend to work with a lot of, women run, design companies and brands in an effort to kind of uplift other people that are interested in the same values that you're interested in?
Yeah, so I tried. It's not always easy. My main focus is sustainable brands. So whenever I build a shopping experience for a client, I will focus on sustainable brands. I will make sure that the client, the brand is pretty transparent about, where the clothes are made and how they are made from. Now, yes, I had the chance during the pandemic and mainly through Instagram to connect with a few women, like clothing designer, jewelry designer, and even other, or even photographer or other stylist. And it's pretty, it's very powerful. And I also, I think about a year ago, I joined this a non-for-profit organization. So it's basically an organization of French women entrepreneurs.
Wow.
So we are all French or speak French. We are based all around the US, but most of them are based in California. And we started during the pandemic. And it was, it changed I'm not going to say it changed my life, but, during the pandemic, everybody, no matter if you were a business owner or you were working in corporate, we all felt a little bit isolated.
Yeah.
So when I joined this organization, I felt so much relieved, and it gave me confidence to grow my business again, because during the pandemic as a stylist, it was so hard,
Yes.
I couldn't go to people's house. The malls were closed, at least in California. My virtual services were not on point. And I didn't want to do virtual because, again, what I really liked about my job is the connection you can have with people in person. And I didn't think that this is something you could do virtually. So having all those women supporting other women was really mood lifting. And it was an incredible experience, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah, I think that's huge. The sense of community and having people to lean on is very important, because as an entrepreneur, I'm sure there's a lot of times where you feel like you're alone. You're your own boss. You're right? Do you feel like that sometimes?
Yeah, you do everything. As I said, you do your marketing, you work with your client, and then you need to take care of the social media and your taxes, and I feel lonely sometimes, and more particularly with the pandemic, I think it was even more difficult. But again, I like going back in store now and, able to talk to salespeople, and I think it's getting better, but it's still hard. But, we know that it comes with the entrepreneur, nothing is perfect. So I have the flexibility and the time, but yes, I might feel a bit more like alone, and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the challenges that you definitely just have is having your own business. But I think it's great that you've done, things like, meeting with your clients virtually, even if you can't meet with them in person, but also like joining this group and finding other people who are kind of, going through those same things as you. So, when you're talking about the pandemic, this is something I wanted to ask you about a little bit more. When it first kind of happened and everything shut down, did business kind of come to a little bit of a halt because nobody's going out at all, or how did you kind of manage that? Because I'm sure that was a pretty jarring feeling.
Oh, it was hard because let me tell you, I moved from New York to LA in January 2020. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I started working with a business coach. So this is when we work my mission and my vision. I developed new services focused on the most sustainable approach of styling. I was ready to go, new website, everything ready. And then the pandemic happened. And now for the first few months, it was impossible. You couldn't get out of your house. We were in lockdown. The malls were closed. So I couldn't do my job. People were not going to the office anymore. They were not traveling. There was literally no business. And I was not working virtually. So I was like, no, I mean, it's like, I cannot do it anymore. And it was very hard. Then I started working on this membership. I was okay, how can I get my business, how can I run my business in the middle of the pandemic? So I started thinking and brainstorming. Okay, I'm going to do this membership thing for new and existing clients. I worked on that. It happened that it didn't work very well. And then I thought in September, so it was beginning of spring 2020, and I really thought by September 2020 everybody will be back to the office and the COVID will be over and I will be able to start working as a personal stylist, and it did not. So my husband at that time told me, I think you really need to work on a virtual offer. You need to develop some virtual services. And I was no. And then I was oh, maybe. And then I was oh, yes, I think you are right. So I think it's, as an entrepreneur, it's important to have this open mind, positive, critical thinking. Because today I think my virtual service is pretty amazing. I am able to work with clients from Atlanta to Canada, Mexico, Wisconsin, Boston, which I was not able to do before. So, even from the most complicated and terrible situation like the COVID pandemic, you always have positive lessons to take it from.
Isn't that funny that you were no, and now it's such a successful part of your business?
No, because today I would say I do 70% of my business is virtual. And I like it. I don't like spending hours in the traffic in LA, which is a terrible traffic. But no, at the beginning I was no. And no, it cannot be no. It can be maybe I'm gonna try, but you cannot. You need to keep this open mind as an entrepreneur if you want to grow your business or if you want your business, to be successful.
Yeah. No, that's so funny that it's 70% of your business now. That's pretty amazing. So,
and I enjoy.
That's so funny. I love that. You're right. You have to be open-minded. You have to be open to that kind of stuff. So something I kind of want to ask you about was, have you dealt with people's criticism, whether it be people who were maybe not sure if you should, quit your job and start a business, or maybe clients who left a review that was not too nice. When you come across those situations, if you have, what is your mindset there? How do you kind of deal with that?
I think I am probably lucky, but I never had to deal with criticism, from outside, from competitors.
Oh, great.
No, I think nothing I remember about, which probably means that it was not a big deal. I think the biggest critic is like self-criticism. It's the biggest deal, you know. I think my worst enemy is myself, you know. I think so.
Yeah. No, I think that's
on a
really
daily
common.
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. On a daily basis, I will criticize myself. Oh, you don't do enough. You don't create enough. I think I think it's the biggest criticism situation I have to face on a daily basis.
I think that really speaks a lot to your mindset, because, you know, maybe there have been like small criticisms here and there, but they're not important. So you're just like, I'm not even going to pay attention to that. I'm not even going to remember that, you know. But, you know, if you really haven't had any, great. But, you know, I think that you know, your mindset is just in a place where you're like, nothing matters except for what I think of myself and what my clients think. And if they are smiling and happy, you know, I've done my job, you know. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I keep thinking, but no, I have nothing I remember. No,
well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
If I have something coming up to my mind, I will send you an email. But no, for now, it's probably because, as you said, I don't care, and you know, I know who I am, and I know the value and the difference I can make in my clients' lives. So based on, you know, with that, I think that's
good. Great. So I guess kind of to wrap up our conversation here, you know, I guess what would you say to other women who might be just on the cusp of taking that jump and taking that leap into starting their business? Because I think so many people are just afraid. They really want to do it, but how do you kind of give a little bit of advice to those people?
There are so many things to say about it. But the first thing I would say is just trust yourself. If you think even just a little bit that there is something special you can bring to, you know, potential clients, you have these special things you're very good at, it's already like a big step. So trust yourself and start doing it. Start something. Start writing. Start putting ideas. You know, like the big idea, the big business plan is not gonna come overnight. No, this is not the way it works for nobody. Even, you know, the most successful business entrepreneurs. So just, you know, start. And I still have the notebooks I used when I started my business, and I love going through it because it was so very different from what I have or what I created today. Just the name, you know, and the ideas, but just start brainstorming what makes you different from others? How can you make a difference with your service or your product? What is very special about you? What about your journey? Like, how can you use your journey and your experience to provide something that's going to make an impact in people's life? And write and brainstorm and share with people and ask questions. And I think at the beginning, there is nothing very concrete. Like, you're not going to come up with a book or a presentation, but just like a lot of bribes and ideas. And everything's going to fall in places, you know, time after time. Be patient. Yeah. So trust yourself and be patient, and keep in mind that it's not an easy journey. It's not an easy, but I think it's worth it for sure.
Well, great. Thank you so much. I think that there's a lot of, you know, pieces of your story that people and you know, women and mothers will really relate to, and I think find really inspiring to go out on their own and start their own business. So I really appreciate you taking some time to chat with us.
No, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the GEM series, the podcast for anybody dedicated to investing in themselves. Stay tuned for our next episode and look in the links below for resources that you can use for yourself.
Until next time, this is Blake Chapman, and remember to be awesome and do awesome things.